down the road you won't do the same old thing? Can you guarantee us you won't? And besides, whatever we have left rightfully belongs to your older brother. How can I give you anything when it's his? And by the way, can you explain please, how could you do such a thing to me and your mama? That's the most selfish, hurtful thing I've ever seen. And look at you now, you look terrible. You've been drinking, you've been doing drugs. Who knows what kind of disease you brought back in here? I told you that sin would ruin you. You wouldn't listen. And what an embarrassment. What an embarrassment you've been to me. Friends ask me where you are, and I have to say I don't know. I feel like such a failure because of you, and now you come back. I mean, that would have been a fair way to end the story, I think. That'd have been the American way. But no, the story of the father ran to his son, didn't expect any money back, but instead just wrapped his arms around him, loved him, cried. Many of us have made the same mistakes our kids are going to make. We've wasted money, we've rebelled, we were embarrassed. Our parents at school, we had the DUI, we got pregnant out of wedlock. Some of us might have even ended up in jail. But your dad hung in there with you. He loved you. He gave you second chances. He forgave you. So kids, adult kids, today, say thank you to your dad for forgiveness. So let's look at this. While he was still a long way off, his father saw him, his heart pounding. He ran out and embraced him and kissed him. The son started his speech, "Father, I've sinned against God. I've sinned before you. I don't deserve to be called your son ever again." But the father wasn't listening. He was calling the servants, "Quick, bring a clean set of clothes and dress him. Put the family ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Then get a grain-fed heifer and roast it. We're going to feast. We're going to have a wonderful time. My son is here, given up for dead and now alive, given up for lost and now is found." And they began to have a wonderful time. Forgiveness was given. And we say, thank you for that. And then finally, lost and he's found. Here's a fact. You have to love every one of your children. As a dad, sometimes one child needs a little more love than the other, don't they? I mean, you love them the same, but you know, sometimes that one child that's struggling more has to have a little bit more love than the other two or three, and so you pour into them, but you love all your children all the same. You pour into them, and it doesn't matter if they like what you like or don't like what you like, but you love them all the same. You pour into them. And you're just like me. You've sinned. You've fallen. You haven't been perfect. And you've come back to God, your Heavenly Father, and He has forgiven you how many times? Hundreds, thousands, millions of times. But yet you somehow, some way are going to hold a grudge against your own son or your own daughter when you have been given grace and mercy? So kids, today, go to your dad and you thank him for loving me. Because none of us deserve it. None of us. For those of us whose father has passed away, you can honor his memory by being the man that you know he wanted you to be. Step up and be a man. Don't let someone else do it for you. If you could, go ahead and stand, please. We have a Heavenly Father who is here waiting for anyone that needs forgiveness, that needs love, that needs to be taken care of, that needs mercy, if you have struggled, if you're wandered away, if you're living a life full of sin and rebellion, today, right now, come forward. Ask God to forgive you. Your dad will meet you right up here. Please come as we sing this song.
Who am I that the highest would welcome? I was lost, but He brought me. Oh, His love for me. Oh, His love for me. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. Free at last, He has ransomed me. His grace runs deep. While I was a slave to sin, Jesus died for me. Yes, He died for me. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am who you say I am. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child